Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sunrise Daily. Today, we'll still have to wish you a happy new year. We intend to make it as much as happy as can be for as much as possible this 2026. I'm Chamberlain. What's up?
Good morning and welcome. A brand new year. Everyone is so excited, but like we told you, it's going to be a very busy year. Good morning, welcome. I'm Kayla Megwa Chamberlain. Yesterday, we saw the police respecting an order of court.
It sounds like it was straightforward when you say that.
Yes, they tried it. They tried not to.
To make it so, right?
Yeah, but at some point, you know, they had to listen to reason, and I think that's the reason why we're seeing that statement from the Inspector General of Police. This tinted glass permit situation, every 6 months, it feels like every 6 months, the police tries to bring it up again. Right? And then, you know, and then when they do, the first person to answer them will be the Nigerian Bar Association. No, you can't do it. They will be in limbo for a few weeks, and then they will postpone it. Is there going to be a time when they just stop this and just give up on it?
You know, because I just wonder myself, don't they look at trends? Because, I mean, you know, the essence of all of this is to develop, modernize things, because we're not in isolation with the rest of the world. There's technology, there's several ways of doing different things so that it doesn't look as though we are in a jungle all by ourselves in terms of how to curb crime. All of the reasons that they've given about all of those things flies in the face of reason for a lot of people. And so when you see them come to the roads, you just think, because the NBA, several people think, look, this is about revenue generation for the police, nothing more than that. And we see that with a lot of these other agencies. And I pray it doesn't become the same pattern when it comes to state police. Because when they all have to go on the roads, stop vehicles, select vehicles.
Yes.
Because they won't go to the rickety ones, who their tail lights are bad, who they can see, even the public buses, for instance, in Lagos. You see that the downfall buses might be coming, and they look the other way. And then when it's a little private car, they can swoop on you because they know they could make some, you know, from some of those people. You don't want to be embarrassed,
so you would.
They know you want to comply.
And then, Chamberlain, another issue with the police. In the FCT here, when you drive around at night, it feels like a begging spree. Mama, wow. Mama, anything for the boys. Oh, Mama, happy weekend. Mama, have fun, I'll drop something. It's at least for me, they're calling me Mama. I don't know what they're calling you.
They've never called me Papa because they won't even see me on the road.
But because I am on the roads at night.
Maybe they'll wait for me, but you get tinted by me, we'll wait for you.
You know, and so it feels like a begging spree. At some point, I stay asking myself, maybe I should just have a 500 naira somewhere. So that with every checkpoint, I can just drop something. And you know,
is that not encouraging?
Yes, but that encourages bad behavior. But at the same time, you know, you're now thinking, what is the point then? What is the point of these checkpoints here? If the idea is that if I had what if I was kind of an explosive, for instance, God forbid, and I got to a checkpoint and I was able to just give this man 500 naira and drive past it, haven't I gotten my illicit bombing device across a police checkpoint? Do you understand what I mean? Where's the actual work? It's something that the police really need to think about. Why are we on the roads? If you're on the roads to ensure that people are do not break the law, that they're not carrying contraband, that terrorists are not moving around, if you're doing that, then focus on doing that. But this begging spree is just really embarrassing for everyone and makes us wonder what you're doing on the road. So when you now tell us that you're on the roads and this is what you're doing, we're wondering, are you really doing that, or are you just here to beg for money?
That's why in the Southeast, they'll tell you there's almost, when you go through the roads, you will see several police checkpoints. Several. Yet, the crime and criminality along that axis in different areas is huge. And then people just wonder, so what's the point of all of these checkpoints? And the answer is to make some quick bucks. But yes, we know that, of course, it can't be all of them who are doing it. But when a few of them, those bad eggs do, it tarnishes the image of the force. That is always the case anywhere you go in the world. So if you have that 5% across the world who do certain things, they will tarnish the image of any good area. But let's give you a little bit of a background of how this argument went back and forth with the police and the NBA.
This news conference is aimed at showcasing the successes of the Nigerian police force in the last 1 month. as the first public relations officer takes to the podium. Beyond the recovery of arms, ammunition, and the arrest of suspected criminals, the Nigerian police force vows to commence the enforcement of tinted glass permit as from January 2026.
The mandate of the police is to protect life and property. We would not fold our arms and watch things degenerate. We'll do what needs to be done. So, like I said earlier, there is no clear-cut order. There is no court order at all restraining the police from enforcing this. And since the case is still ongoing, and in that period, this is causing more criminality, we will do the right thing to start enforcing this permit policy until the court's case can be concluded.
At a separate news conference, the Nigerian Bar Association describes the enforcement as a scam aimed at enriching a few individuals.
The fullness of such action must be guaranteed. And if it becomes a revenue-generating one, like the tinted glass policy appears to be, then we must all fight it, because you cannot pretend to be fighting security when in actual fact you're only interested in the money you collect from people. And like we said to the IG, if you say it's about security, nobody is checking anything. Once you upload the documents and make the payment, they issue it to you. So you know who is fooling who? It's a scam, and we should call it out for what it is.
The enforcement is aimed on the alleged use of cars with tinted glasses by criminals, but the NBA forced the payment of permit fees into a private account.
Now, criminal elements now confidently use these tinted vehicles to perpetrate crime. You might not know. We know because we gather information, we gather intelligence, and we maintain crime statistics.
How did they arrive at the choice of that company? What is the company doing for them? How is this money being shared? Why is the money being paid into a private account? How did we get there? If it is about fighting security and people already had that permit, why are you, by one sweeping statement, revoke them and require them to come back for data you're supposed to already have? How? It's a fraud.
As the back and forth over the legality of annual renewal of tinted glass permit by the police and NBA rages, the Nigerian Bar Association is threatening contempt proceedings against the Inspector General of Police, Kaude Egbetokun.
Welcome back to Sunrise Today. Yes, indeed, we'll be talking about different matters. I mean, you saw that report. The police have since said, okay, we will hold on until the matter is over and done with. That is what the NBA has been saying all the while. So whatever other reasons they're giving, well, insofar as they complied with the ultimate decision, that's what that is about. We've got this morning, Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo is a public affairs analyst, is a columnist, is a lawyer, is a politician. I should also remember, ADC. Good morning.
NWC.
Happy New Year. NWC of the ADC.
You know, good morning, Chamberlain. Good morning, Mewa. Good morning, viewers, and Happy New Year to all of us.
Yeah.
Such a wonderful year.
Absolutely. We hope to make it so. We hope it turns out so for a lot of people, if not everybody, because they all can't have the same thing, can we? But, you know, these days, there are several decisions in the court about political parties. We'll come to that in a minute. But the president his spokesperson put up a statement the other day, a New Year message to Nigerians in terms of what to expect. So those who were expecting a broadcast, your hopes were dashed. But he did have that, he said he hopes to be a beginning of a more robust phase of economic growth in his New Year goodwill message to Nigerians. He talked about the economy, the progress they've made in the economy, how from that perspective, the inflationary figures, they say, have appreciated. Talking about the agri sector, how they also intend to continue in that light and ensure that we have a lot more progress. Many view that statement from different perspectives. So let's get your broad perspective of what you make of that statement in connection with the reality on ground.
Well, the government of Tinubu cannot cease to continue to surprise me. Each time I think they've reached the limit of incompetence, they still blow that limit. First of all, that topic, 2026, marks the beginning of a more robust phase of economic growth. I was offended by that phrase, the beginning. Almost 3 years into the regime of a government, he's coming out openly to say he has not begun. The beginning to begin. And obviously it's an admission of failure because he has actually not begun anything. You saw how he embarrassed the world by saying that inflation has come down to 15%. Let me state that clearly. That's a white lie. Before Tinubu came in, the highest he could pay for flight ticket from Abuja to Enugu, give it even 50,000. So we were paying 25,000, that's something thousand. 15% means that you just pay like about 57,500 naira. But going to Enugu, I paid 250,000 naira flight ticket. That's almost more than 500% increase in inflation. And the president is sitting down in a New Year message telling Nigerians about the rebased fraudulent inflation figure, that it is 15%. It's embarrassing and very annoying. The best this government can even do is to speak the truth. And they say if you lie on a new year, on the first day of the year, you will lie throughout the year. That was what we were told when we were growing up. So I expect that this president is going to, and this government is going to lie throughout the year. Now, look at the speech. Let's talk about the security. In Plateau State, they were preparing for crossover, only to be attacked by terrorists. 8 persons confirmed dead. Of course, there will be more. They will never cross over to any other new year in their lives. More than 8 families are grieving now because of a government which, even with the help of foreign country, can still not do anything about insecurity. And the annoying thing is that they say this was after security report has reported that they were going to attack. In the southwest, the son of a traditional ruler was kidnapped. In Nasarawa, people went into where they were doing wedding and kidnapped and killed people. Security is still very much, insecurity is still very much with us. So what is he celebrating the new year? And I'm sure he is staying in one hotel in one European country, frolicking with the foreign presidents and coming to speak from there.
Well, we don't know what he's
is
doing.
as alien as where he is now.
We understand that he's supposed to go for
Let me
a
go
summit
on and tell you
in UAE.
how this government has become destructive.
Yeah, before
to
that,
Nigerians.
about security. What do you expect, especially with the intervention, or in fact, they said it was a cooperation between Nigeria and the US with that bombing in Sokoto. What do you expect in terms of the outcome, having an end to terrorism?
Good. First of all, there is no cooperation between America and Nigeria. There is a compulsion from America. They're 2 different things.
Compulsion?
Yes.
Can that be?
If you do not take out these terrorists, who will come gun a-blazing to do it for you, what else can speak to the eloquence of the incompetence of this government?
No, but Africa,
for the first time in Nigeria, a foreign country will now come to help to save Nigerians from Nigerians.
Yeah, that may be the case. But
Good.
what about when Africa says themselves and
Yes.
several other people, even the Secretary of War, all of them say, look, yes, Nigeria did cooperate with them. So they didn't say it was
that is what I am saying. After the threat, Goodluck Jonathan brought in foreign people under the sovereignty of Nigeria. And they took out the terrorists. 6 weeks to the election, they postponed the election, took out the terrorists, and we had the election throughout Nigeria. That is cooperation. But after the threat, so, you know, before the threat, you know what Tinubu said? I will do this, I don't care what Donald Trump does. He made it in public statement. I'm like, what are you saying? Then Donald Trump now did something. And Tinubu, hey, sir, what do you want? Do you want to kill all Nigerians? Just leave me as president. It is ridiculous. Let me tell you.
Did you say
there is nothing wrong in cooperating with anybody, any country, in order to solve security problems. But in this case, they are giving you the instructions. We now have a new commander-in-chief of the armed forces in President Trump, not Tinubu, because Tinubu has failed. And he has admitted it because he allowed America to come in to do what he ought to do. Do you know?
So you don't agree.
Before Tinubu,
wait, you don't believe
Nigeria
that
was
Nigeria
one
gave
doing
US
to the whole African countries what US is doing for Nigeria
so
now.
you don't believe that Nigeria, from what their statement is, they gave the states the intel to actually carry out that attack.
Believe that due to the incompetence of Tinubu, America compelled Tinubu, excuse me, America compelled Tinubu to do what he ought to have done.
Okay, let's talk politics.
Okay.
Let's talk politics, because that was a lot to take in. Peter Obi is now in the ADC.
And you are in the
Congratulations.
NWC.
Right?
Well, when
congratulations in order here.
Thank you very much. I remembered telling you in this studio that ADC is the only option for all opposition leaders. And I made 3 predictions. I said PDP, LP are dead. APC will implode. 2 have been completely settled. PDP, LP are dead. APC is already cracking up and will implode. That is why Tinubu is forming a committee of reconciliation. Do you reconcile what is okay?
They are planning ahead now.
No,
it's
I said
normal.
reconciliation.
Yeah, reconciliation, because it's better to plan before the
call
quarrel.
it planning committee. So you are
plan reconciliation before the quarrel starts.
No.
Then when the quarrel now cracks up, the party now starts to create committee.
The quarrels are already there. Academic state by state is just because of time.
Okay, so let's go back to the ADC.
Very good. Oh,
Peter
beautiful
Obi,
ADC.
Yes.
You know,
Peter Obi is there now.
Yes.
Are you going to be working together?
Now, let me tell you. The Southeast obviously has become an ADC state. ADC geopolitical zone. Do you know what we say now in Southeast?
What?
Obondioma nanigi kaigeso obondio edisi ubani yeso numunne obondioma nanigi kaigeso obondioma.
But you're assuming that they will give the presidential ticket to Peter Obi. Why they don't give Peter Obi that presidential ticket?
Let me tell you, anybody you see in ADC is allowed to get into ADC on one condition. You must be a true Democrat. One thing ADC will not compromise on is internal democracy and living on the tenets of democracy. No leader, no opposition leader was allowed to give conditions before entering in. Because we want to exercise discipline. So that is why everybody took their time to come into ADC, because we want that foundation to be solid. Now Southeast is gone ADC, like I said, they will. Any other politician who is not in ADC, who wants to do any other parties working for Tinubu?
Are you working?
It's as simple as that.
Are you going to work with Peter Obi? Because remember the last time.
He is an ADC member. We work with every ADC member. Be rest assured. Whoever emerges as the presidential candidate of ADC, I will work for the person.
Even if it's Peter Obi?
Why not?
Okay.
But I said this so many times. I don't have any personal rift with anybody. I am saying that when you come as a group, you bring your people as a group, you have more bargaining power. Southeast now has more bargaining power in ADC. So for the interest of our people, we must cohere and collaborate with other regions.
Even if Peter Obi doesn't get that presidential ticket,
yes.
Even if it's someone else who gets it, the Southeast will still support that person.
Why not?
In your view?
Why not? Peter Obi himself said it in the X space. He said, look, he's going to work together with every ADC person in order that the best will get the job. In democracy, unfortunately or fortunately, the best becomes who the people choose. That is the principle of democracy. Government of the people. ADC kaigeso obondioma naniya kaigeso obondioma.
So
that's what's going on now.
What should the people expect in terms of ADC's method and style? Are they going to zone the presidential ticket to a particular area, or they'll make it free for all?
Now, I am a member of the NWC. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. I am aware that we have not made any statement as to zoning or unzoning. And so I am not qualified to talk on that. But we have made a statement on internal democracy that we are going to organize free, fair, and equitable primary election, giving all aspirants level playing field.
Well, Mr. Keyamo thinks otherwise. He thinks the ADC is afraid to zone it because the party is owned by one man, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. So that's his perspective. And if that becomes the case, he will say, but I told you so.
Well, I think Keyamo should concentrate on the people that pull out the breast openly in open aircraft, and he has done nothing. He should concentrate on people who, the APC singers who come and obstruct the airport, and he did nothing. He will concentrate on Adam Soshomolo, who blocked airport, and he did nothing. I think he should concentrate on those things. That's not poking his nose in ADC. No, they say remove the log of wood in your eye so you can see clearly to see the speck in another person's eye.
Isn't it the same way you predicted that APC would implode? So
yes,
he's given his own perspective too.
You know what they say? They said ADC was dead on arrival. Before we even started, they say we are dead. I was one who came out and said, how can something that is not born die? So you can see how we are flourishing on arrival.
Dumebi doesn't agree.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Dumebi Kachiku said, he doesn't agree with Obondioma at all.
Then he is in Obondiojo.
He says that you people are Bondiojo because
okay, he said
yes,
okay.
because he says first of all that this whole coalition, he says it's illegal. Let's begin from there.
Very good.
He says you people came in through the back door. You are not the real people that own this party. They are the ones that were there. You came, bulldoze the place, and think that they would lay low and watch you do what you're doing. Right. They say they are going to be a thorn in your flesh. You're not going to be able to succeed.
Now, let me tell you, ADC loves everybody, including Kachiku. And we want everybody, including Chamberlain and Kayla. Good. But the truth here is that ADC has been in existence from 2005. I heard about Kachiku the first time in ADC when he himself bulldozed himself and became presidential candidate in the last election with his maybe 5,000 or 10,000 votes. So the issue here is this. What is he in ADC that will make him to give instructions? He's not a member of any executive at any level. Now he has been expelled from ADC. He does not have the local standing to talk about ADC. The only thing he can go to court now is to contest whether it is legal or not, his expulsion, before he will even come to start talking about ADC. So when you want to tell me about ADC, let it be members of ADC that you will talk about.
And it's not only him. There are so many people that were in that party before all of you came in.
Sure.
And all of them are very upset about everything that's going on. They're saying, look, you're not...
You equally bulldoze your way.
Yeah.
Kela, I don't know where you got your information from. But, but I'm aware that the national chairman of ADC, Ralph Nwosu, is the one who voluntarily relinquished his post and all the national executive members, and then admitted men that they believe are men of substance that will build the Nigeria of our dream. Have you seen him complain?
So Ralph Nwosu
try and withdraw that statement that all of them.
Ralph Nwosu.
I just gave you. Can you name other ones?
Ralph Nwosu created this party, right? He was the head of this.
Thank you.
Now,
the founder,
yes, but he didn't
the
want
national chairman.
Hold on now.
He
He wasn't running a political party by himself. He had people that were working inside.
Sure.
Now, Dumebi Kachiku and other people like him say that when Ralph Nwosu made that decision,
other people like him
when Ralph Nwosu made that decision, that they were not carried along. Dumebi at least says he wasn't carried along.
Okay.
And then you want him to be okay with that. If someone did that to you, you would not be happy with that.
You said he said, and they said. Yeah,
how about this one? So you know, Nafiu Balago.
I know that everybody, including him, was consulted. We do not leave.
So what did he say?
We did not leave anybody.
Did he agree?
Behind.
When you consulted him, did he say okay?
Very good. In law, fair hearing means you are given an opportunity to defend yourself, not whether you came to defend yourself. We mustn't agree in all things.
But at the moment...
So he was given the opportunity. He was consulted.
I know you must have heard that a certain Nafiu Bala Gombe, he's gone to court to challenge the interim leadership of Senator David Mark and claiming that his appointment alongside the secretary, Raul Faregbeshola, violated the party's constitution and the internal democracy process. So they say they will fight it to the end, that team, they are all imposters.
Yes, that's still news. I treated this particular issue on this seat with Kelamegwa.
But it hasn't gone off yet. The case is still
a lot of things are in courts. Some have lasted 15, 16 years. There's a case I'm handling from High Court. It's now in the Supreme Court. Started from 2008.
But not this type.
To us, we won it in Court of Appeal, and now they are in Supreme Court.
But this type of matter. In other words, you're not bothered by this kind of case. Whether you could even go against.
The court has no jurisdiction to interfere in internal affairs of political parties. It is settled. And you're saying one Nafi, do I know him?
You don't have to know him. He's in
court.
That's
what I'm saying. Everybody can go to court. There's an open door. You know what? ADC
But how do you think that Nigerians will look at all those in the ADC now? For instance, if Peter Obi does not emerge as the flag bearer, the presidential candidate, there's a group of his supporters who think, listen, there is absolutely no way that we're going to settle for anything less than the presidential ticket, not a vice presidential ticket.
Good. Look, when you're moving into election, when you're moving into primaries, people say a whole lot of things. At times they say it as bargaining chip to know whether you can concede to them. These things are normal. I mean, I even heard when they were saying they will never enter ADC. And thank God they are all in ADC now.
No, we're talking about his supporters.
You know what I'm saying?
Voted him.
That is what I'm saying.
They can't enter ADC.
Hold on, I voted him, 2023. I'm in ADC. I believe in democracy. And I believe that democracy is the government of the people.
So you think all those other supporters will eventually follow your path?
Absolutely.
You know that there's a dynamic with Peter Obi where he has...
Not follow my path, follow the path of democracy. Because if you decree that this person must be this, no matter what happens, you're not a Democrat.
So that's the dynamic that people are aware of. The fact that Peter Obi's they are called obedience. They don't belong to a political party. Their political party is the man. So if you're banking on bringing them, they're not going to join the ADC. We saw that with the Labour Party. Many of them didn't join the Labour Party. They just voted the man himself. Is that a dynamic that the ADC is ready to handle?
Well, you know, when I was in Labour Party, I said it was a tactical mistake. Telling your followers they can join all political parties. And I'm very glad that my brother Peter Obi, has changed the tactic. If you listen to his interview on X Space, he said all the obedience should go and register as members of ADC. So if you are an obedient and you're not in ADC, sorry, you're not an obedient. You are a disobedient.
That's a very interesting way to put it. Okay, well, we wanted to see if that actually happens. Now, let's talk about this year. One of the questions people have about the ADC, yes, we recognize all of your faces. However, are there structures in the states that can give you the kind of victory that you say you're going to get? You don't have a single governor. You don't have, I think you have one member of in the National Assembly who is not even, who is also among people that are angry with the party as well. Yes,
which
because
party?
The ADC, the lawmaker from Kogi.
No. That one has been expelled.
Oh, okay, he has been expelled.
Yes,
well, he says that expulsion.
He said he's working for Tinubu.
Yes, he said he's working
for... He doesn't even need to... In a country that has shame, he doesn't even need to come and say he's ADC member.
So the point is...
we are not PDP,
they are looking at the fact that... What structures
I've told you people, we are not
levels.
Transgenderic in ADC. It's either you're ADC or you're not. You can't say you're PDP when you're APC.
But you don't have... don't have a lawmaker right now that is on your side.
I'm sorry, you're wrong. Senator Ireti Kingibe, senator from FCT.
Has she defected to
You're not current, Kel. I'm sorry.
So she left the LP.
All the Southeast legislators, Aberibe, all of them are in ADC. You know what? As the days go by, ADC
will start to swell.
and APC will continue to go down. They'll be going weaker and weaker, and we're stronger and stronger.
Another criticism that you have,
until we
okay,
enter the Aso Villa in 2027 by the grace of God.
State
Very
structures
solid
to help you win.
Yes.
You don't have a single governor.
Yes.
Where's the money going to come from to run elections at all those levels in all these states?
All right. First of all, let me dissuade your assertion that money is only what you need to win elections. In 2023, we won 12 states, including FCT. We didn't have a governor.
That's
Labour Party.
Yes, we didn't have money. We got members in all geopolitical zones, 6, including some states. And that is the technically glitched election, technically glitched results, which if it had not been technically glitched, we would have gotten more. No other party got more than 12 states. So coming now in 2027, where the whole coalition opposition leaders are coming into one. APC is gone. Tinubu is gone back to Bodilon. What happened in December 31st in Southeast has just made Tinubu now, the flight has taken away from Abuja and is nearing Lagos.
Is it not going to be an error or an error of judgment?
Yes.
If you're planning how you want to win based on the outcome of the 2023 elections?
Yes. How can it be an error?
Because right now, dynamics have changed.
No, for the better for us. Atiku, Peter Obi are in one party. Assuming you combine your votes in 2023, in 2027.
You're assuming that vote is still there. That voting block is still there.
It is only with your experience that you will add in your experiment and make your expectation come to pass. It is only the antecedent that you use to project. In America, when they're talking about presidential election, you will see them judge from the past election. So whatever you're going to judge in 2027, you must relate it to the past election. Tinubu got only about 36% of the votes, the minority. So if you combined Peter Obi and Atiku's votes, that would have given them 13 million votes, as against 8 million doctored votes of Tinubu, gotten from technical glitch.
That's amazing, because the same election sheet, the same election results that came from the same organizer, you said the person who was doctored, the other two were not doctored.
Yes.
So they deliberately doctored one and left the other two.
Okay, now, in Lagos, Tinubu's hometown, we won. In his DG's home state, Plateau, we won. In his national chairman's state in Nasarawa, we won. In FCT, he couldn't get 25% and jumped up to win the election.
Yeah, well,
in Lagos State, PDP spokesperson, not LP spokesman, say we won by almost 1 million votes. Of course, we didn't have agents. That was our bad. That was our mistake. And that is why the coalition, working together, is going to sort out all those things. And all those logistical problems will not be there. And Nigerians will celebrate polling unit independence. If you are let me state it clearly, don't go near INEC to seek job there. If you go to a polling unit and not declare the result and transmit it electronically according to the law, if you do it, that is civilian coup against the will of people.
What if there's a glitch?
That is felony.
But there can be a glitch.
No, you would have declared it. If there is a glitch, you have just glitched your life there. So don't glitch anything.
But we're all in the same country where sometimes we see glitch by
all
by itself.
Glitch cannot happen that you have 3 elections at the same time, using one machine at the same time, beavers. And glitch will not glitch senatorial election. It will not glitch House of Rep election. And it will go and glitch presidential election.
The main test of the
You have just glitched your life.
The elections in February, the FCT AMAC elections. So with Tikingibe, a member of the ADC now, we'll be seeing how the ADC will show.
Test yourself.
In that election here in Abuja.
Not really making excuses for ADC. We are going to participate. But let me state it clearly. All the candidates there, we are not put there by the David Mark-led ADC. The candidates had already been there before we even came in.
For the FCT elections?
For the FCT elections.
Meaning?
So that's separate. Meaning that we are going to campaign. But meaning that...
You will lose.
No. I'm not saying that, but meaning that if we had come in, it is possible some of the candidates wouldn't have been our choice. And I want to be very open about it. So do not judge us by what is going to happen in February. And I'm talking about the David-led ADC. But that does not mean we are not going to do our best to campaign.
So your best might not be good enough?
No. The best of the candidates already there.
It's not about the candidates or about the party.
No.
Those who are supporting the party.
No.
The Democrats, like you say, in the party. Pull
No.
your weight and let's see what you can do.
These two things go hand in hand. I can guarantee you that in 2023, it was not a vote for party in Labour Party. It was a vote for candidate. That I can guarantee you.
So it might be the same template.
No, I said generally, candidates matter. Generally, parties matter.
Okay.
So, but when the two of them are sophisticated, working together, you produce the best result. So I cannot guarantee you that, I will guarantee you that ADC will do its best and may win some of the councils, may, on the line.
But they may not perform as you may expect.
May, on the line.
Okay.
May.
People will say you've already thrown in the towel.
It's not possible. We are, let me tell you, we are going to do our best. I am somebody that will tell you the way it is. I'm sorry, but that's my nature.
Okay.
All right. We'll see how that one plays out, and then the build-up to the big one, because this year, I mean, whether we admit it or not, there will be the build-up for 2027 will be this year.
That is the election that you will judge us with.
Okay.
Any election that is coming after the David Mark-led ADC has come in, you have the right to judge us on that.
So, all right. We'll see how all of that plays out. So thank you for coming on, Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, and again, all the best for the year.
Thank you.
Well, back in a moment. Stay with us.
Today is the last day of 2025. So we are ending this year with a hope that in 2026 we will begin a journey of rescue of our country. For proper socio-economic development that will be unifying and inclusive. We have all watched those who benefited from our democracy sometime now become accessories to destroying our democracy, either through coercion and gangsterism against the opposition. We cannot allow this to happen. We will resist it. We've now seen people who benefited in our democracy be part of celebrating electoral fraud publicly. And we are saying that those who are planning to rig an election in Nigeria come 2027, we will resist it by every means lawful and legitimate.
All right, we've got Ken Asogwa here with us. He is the Senior Special Advisor on Media to the Interim National Chairman of the Labour Party, that's Senator Nana Usman. Good morning and Happy New Year to you. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning, Chamberlain. Good morning, Kayla. Good morning, Nigerians, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, we're going to talk about politics, of course, but what is going on? Because at the moment, first of all, we'd like to clarify, who is in charge of Labour Party? Who's the chairman of Labour Party? Because on the courts, in INEC platform, we see Julius Abure. And then we see Nana Usman, interim national chairman. So what's going on?
Thank you. I think that is a good starting point, because we need to clear who is the chairman before we progress to the next thing. The truth is that on the 4th of April last year, the Supreme Court, in a landmark judgment that was clearly unambiguous, stated that Julius Abure's tenure had long elapsed. And the person who brought that appeal to the Supreme Court was Senator Nenadi Usman, who was the appellant. And the Supreme Court, in closing that judgment, they said that this appeal is hereby allowed. When appeal is allowed, it means that your reliefs sought are granted by the courts. So she is the national chairman of the Labour Party. That is not in question. Now, there was a later judgment that reconfirmed that judgment of the Supreme Court. Ordinarily, that judgment shouldn't have been reconfirmed. But it's only in Nigeria that the Supreme Court gives judgment, and somebody goes back to the Federal High Court to litigate what the Supreme Court, the final court in Nigeria, has ruled on. Now, on the 15th of August, in an application brought by this same Julius Abure against INEC, the Federal High Court in Abuja ruled that Julius Abure was no longer the chairman of the Labour Party on account of the Supreme Court judgment of 4th April 2025. So it is not in doubt, it is never a matter of controversy who is the national chairman of the Labour Party. The national chairman of the Labour Party is Senator Nenadi Usman. Now, let me come to why his name is on the INEC portal.
And INEC says by court order.
Yeah, that court order was a court order that he got as far back as 2022. So it's not a recent court order. The name has
not
always
even
been
2024.
there. No. It's always been there. It's always been there. So it's not a recent court order, but his name has been there since. So because of this whole controversies created, INEC just left it that way, waiting for the whole thing to be cleared for them to upload the next name.
Why is Nenadi's name why is her post interim national chairman?
It is interim because the convention of the party has not taken place. So the name, it was the final authority of every political party is the NEC, apart from the national convention. So the NEC of the party met after what happened in Umuahia, where she was appointed as the chairman of the National Caretaker Committee. Then the NEC of the party met on 19 July in Transcorp in Abuja here, and now changed the nomenclature of her position from the National Caretaker Committee to the interim national chairman of the Labour Party, pending the national convention that will produce a substantive chairman.
Now, you said that that court order was in 2022, but just this year, and I think we had a conversation about it when it happened, when INEC called for a meeting of the national chairman of political parties. For the Labour Party, it was Julius Abure that was there.
Yes.
And then Adi Usman wasn't there, and they didn't send him out. They didn't say, no, sir, we go out. No. Yes. He was there, and he was discussed. And since then, INEC hasn't changed his name from their portal.
Yeah, I need to address that. You see, when Professor Mahmoud Yakubu was the INEC chairman, Julius Abure attended such meeting. It's a quarterly briefing that INEC chairman always has with leaders of political party. He attended that meeting and he was literally thrown out by Professor Mahmoud Yakubu's leadership. Now, when Mayor Agbamuche came as acting chairperson, pending the nomination by the president of the substantive person, she had such a similar meeting and invited her.
Invited
him. And if you remember, we rose against that. And she anchored her reason on a certain judgment that they said Julius Abure obtained from a high court in Gwagwalada. Now, we know that INEC is a national body, is a federal institution. And according to Section 251 of the Constitution of Nigeria, the only court that has jurisdiction to attend to matters concerning any federal institution is the Federal High Court. Then he went on a forum shopping in a Nasarawa High Court and said he got a judgment there. That is one. But we are in courts already now, with including both INEC and Julius Abure. And by the special grace of God, this January, the court will pronounce again on this matter.
I
believe this will put paid to some of these things.
Because the conversation around the time was that, it wasn't a meeting where they just told people to come. Invitation letters were given. And INEC, at the time, Mayor Agbamuche was one who was... and the letter was given to Julius Abure, not to Nenadi Usman. Which was very instructive. It made everyone start to wonder, okay, well...
No. There was an omnibus letter by INEC. INEC didn't write personally to every leader of the political party. It was an omnibus letter written to all chairmen of political parties. Okay. So Abure intercepted the one meant for Labour Party.
Intercepted it?
Yes, intercepted it and found himself there.
How did he intercept it?
Well, I don't know, but there were some fifth columnists that enabled him to intercept the letter.
Okay, so you spoke about the one in 2022. What about the decision in 2024? Because that was claimed to have been gotten from Abuja by Justice Haman Barker. What about that particular case that affirmed him as chairman? That's Julius Abure.
Well, I don't know about that judgment, but even if that judgment, I've told you about Supreme Court judgment of 2025 in April that invalidated whatever position he's claiming. So if there was a, that was the judgment that Nenadi Usman appealed against. Sorry. The 2024 judgment you are making reference
that
to.
Affirmed him.
That affirmed him. There was appealed to by Nenadi Usman.
April 2025.
Yes, that was the judgment that Supreme Court now gave judgment on April 4th, 2025. First of all, they went to Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal affirmed his position. Then Nenadi progressed up to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court now said that the convention that returned him that took place in Nnewi, that purportedly returned him, was an illegal convention. That Julius Abure is no longer the chairman of the Labour Party. It was clearly stated.
In other words, the one you say is in court now, and hopefully, did you say January?
Yeah, this
month.
Yeah.
So when that decision comes, is it expected to be the final decision on this matter?
Well, because it is federal, I don't know. It's because I don't know how.
They'll still go back to Supreme Court.
I don't know how.
Whoever loses will appeal.
I don't know how the judgment is going to pan out. So let me not preempt the court or preempt whoever is the loser or the winner of the case. But all I know is that there is a judgment coming up on the 19th of this month, and appeals are not automatic. It depends on whether the party who lost is willing to go on appeal.
Explain to me this dynamic I'm seeing from your party right now. You've lost Peter Obi. He has moved to ADC. But you're the Nenadi Usman, and I don't know if I should call you a faction. We don't know what to call you.
There's no faction there, but go on.
Your own led parts of the Labour Party are celebrating the fact that he has joined the ADC. I don't understand that.
We did not celebrate his departure.
Okay.
If you read my speech, I was one that authored that statement.
Yeah.
If you read it clearly, we said that it was more or less like respecting his decision. He has the right of association. And we said that, we went further in that statement to state that even though it is regrettable that he has left, that we will sit down, the entire statutory organs of the party will sit down and chart a new course for the party. We are not celebrating his departure. Nobody celebrates the departure of people from your political party. But you know what? I see a silver lining to his departure for the party.
Tell me about this silver lining.
The silver lining is the fact that there are people who have decided to foist anarchy on Labour Party because of Peter Obi's presence there. They feel that they don't want him to operate on that platform because they feel there is a potential platform for him to become the president of Nigeria. So they sponsored Julius Abure and his people to ensure that they make it hot for him to come out under that platform. So now that he has decided to leave, so the people who are funding the fifth columnists who have been doing all these things, they should cease the funding so that they can leave us to reclaim our party and rebuild it. And that's what we are doing now. We just unveiled a revalidation and registration process that began on 17th of this December. It is headed by the Deputy Governor of Abia State, and that process is ongoing. That exercise is ongoing.
Will you get
it's seamlessly going on well.
Will you get a candidate for the Labour Party to be your face in the next elections? Or will you be supporting?
I don't think
because it's a very interesting dynamic where we have people from one party supporting a candidate from the other party. Is that where we're going now? Will you be supporting people
I know that
political
parties I know that there are alliances are allowed in political process like this. But like I said, I can't sit here and determine for the party what will be done going forward. When that time comes, I'm sure the party will sit to take a decision on that.
What about those who think that Labour Party, at the end of the day, having lost him and lost Senator, you may also lose the Abia State governor?
You've also lost Ireti Kingibe.
Yeah, we've lost a couple of senators as well. You see, I don't know what's going forward for Abia governor. But as I speak to you here, I think he granted an interview just about 3 days ago to state that he is still in Labour Party and that he will be there to ensure that some of these hiccups are cleared. So I don't want to preempt his next decision. As far as I know, the committee that I told you that's working to rebuild Labour Party is headed by the Deputy Governor of Abia State, His Excellency Ikechukwu Emetu. You understand? So he cannot be working to rebuild the Labour Party and at the same time you are departing. So
well,
for now,
politics, if he departs, somebody else will occupy that position.
Well, when that, but he said that when his all efforts are put in and it doesn't work, then he will take a new decisions for himself. So for now, he's a member of the Labour Party and he's leader of the party. So I don't want to talk about what he has to. It's only him that can clear the air on the next move for himself.
When is your Congress?
The Congress is in February.
That's next month?
Yes.
Okay.
The Congress is in February. The Congress starts in February. That is from ward to local government to state, then the National Convention.
That is assuming nobody will go to court to challenge something.
Well, you don't take your decisions in political party in an assumption that somebody... You will do what you have to do, what the constitution of the party has enabled you to do. If someone rises from nowhere to challenge your decision, the court is there to state who has been.
But aren't you concerned that at the end of the day, having seen all of these cases that are lined up in the courts, if anybody is looking to say, let me come to Labour Party, they'll think twice and think, look, we don't know when this matter will end in court. So I'd rather be safe than sorry and go to another party and not come to Labour Party.
Your guests that left here cleared the air on what's happening in ADC. That there is a faction there that is in court. So there are always grievances in every political party. So anyone looking for a platform to contest election and you're looking for a political party where there are no litigations, then you probably may not get it in Nigeria because there are grievances here. The political party struggles is all about give and take. So it's
not just any kind of litigation. When the litigation is going to threaten the legitimacy and validity of your candidature, you have to think twice.
I must assure you, Chamberlain, that the problem in Labour Party was resolved as far back as April last year by the Supreme Court. And all these whole things, I've told you, the reason why some persons are trying to create doubts in the party is because they just wanted to create doubt so that Peter Obi will find it hot. Now that he has exited,
did you reach out to INEC?
I can bet you that now that Peter Obi has exited, this whole thing is quite
Did you reach out to INEC?
Because there's nothing else they are fighting for except him.
Did you reach out to INEC to tell them, see, Julius Abure is still the person on your website?
We have written to INEC on countless occasions, but this is not an avenue for me to put out an indictment against INEC. You understand? Even though the woman who acted briefly was one who foisted some of these confusions we are getting.
There's a new chairman now.
We've written to the new chairman, and the bureaucratic process in Nigeria, I believe, is attending to our situation.
Okay.
I believe so. INEC is a responsible institution that has benefited so much from Nigerian courts, from the judiciary. And they cannot join the madness of Julius Abure in throwing the judgment of the Supreme Court of Nigeria under the bus. INEC won't do it.
But to be clear, you've written to the new INEC chairman and complained.
Yeah, sure, we've done that. But
no response yet.
No, I said that I'm pretty sure that they are attending to that.
Okay.
I know.
Well, that's the politician in you being optimistic. So INEC will not say, oh, but you want to spoil, okay.
Don't worry.
But no problem. We understand that dynamic. So, okay, Nasogwa, after all, he's a special advisor, senior special advisor on media for that matter, to the interim national chairman Labour Party. So he won't want to put sand in the gary of the party and everybody who's trying to get the things done. So thank you for coming on, and we wish your party all the best. Well, that is the show today and for the week as well. So it's a new year. So we wish you all the best. Thank you for watching. I'm Chamberlain Oso.
Have a great weekend. Be safe. I'm Kayla Megwa.